Hey everybody, welcome back to Your Average Logical Thinker. So today I went to my son's open house and was presented with this clear backpacks. This is what all the children in this county that are enrolled in public school will be using from now on. And as I picked up the backpack and brought it home with me, I started to reminisce a little bit. So I've been engaged twice, married once. And the first guy that I was engaged to around the 2.5 year mark ended up in prison. And whenever I'd have to go visit him at the California State Penitentiary, this is what I had to bring. Everything had to be clear. Okay, when you go in there, backpack, purses, pocketbooks, wallets, even the pictures that you wanted him to have had to be in a clear plastic baggie, okay? They don't play when you go into those prisons and jails. Everything has to be transparent. You can't have a wire in your bra. You can't even have bobby pins in your hair. One time I went up there, had me a cute little pony, and I had to remove all of the bobby pins in there. By the time I got to him, I look like who done it and why, okay? No lie. So this is for all the prison bays out there that has a pen pal of somebody on the inside. That's what you have to look forward to, okay? But it basically reminded me of that. And it definitely feels like public school to prison pipeline. I've heard the term before. And for me, this definitely solidifies that. And it breaks my heart. Now, if you're wondering why clear bags are now a requirement for everybody in our county, is because last year a 6-year-old shot his teacher. It was national news, probably made international headlines because it was a tragic story of a 6-year-old child carrying a gun, and he shot his teacher twice. She survived, and she's now in an uphill battle suing the school district. The superintendent of the school district has been fired and replaced, and the principal of that school, Rich Neck Elementary, has been replaced as well. The teacher allegedly warned everybody in her chain of command that she felt unsafe and that she wanted the child removed. Nobody heeded her warning. Apparently, allegedly, they checked the child's bag and they checked his hoodie that he was wearing or his jacket that he was wearing. And apparently they found nothing, but next thing we know, she shot twice and everybody is in upheaval and trying to figure out what's going on. Later on, the child's mother would be convicted for her negligence, which I think she should. The problem I have is that, but it bothers me that we are reactive rather than proactive. What could have been done ahead of time? I tell you what, how about we do a better job of raising our kids before we send them off to public school? Yeah, I said it. Dr. Umar had a video yesterday where he was taking live calls from parents. All of the parents that called in were women. And one of the major complaints or concerns rather that they had was that either their child was lacking motivation, disinterested in higher learning, behavioral issues. Now, school just started. School has already just started, and these people are calling in because they've already, on day 2, are getting calls from the school regarding their kids. And to me, that is very alarming. One thing that Dr. Umar pointed out, now, hear me out. Dr. Umar may have been working on this school for 13 years, and I understand everybody's frustration and irritation with the fact that it's taking him forever. Besides that, the man is very smart and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to the psychological effects of these children's minds. What he says makes a lot of sense. And so a lot of things that he stated while he was counseling these parents online was that your child either is suffering from a traumatic event that you haven't figured out what. These children have some sort of developmental delay, or they're spoiled. And I'm going to go with the latter of the three. I believe most of these children are spoiled. And you know why? Because most of these parents that called in, they stated one key thing. When they're at home with me, they're good. They behave. It's only when I take them to school that they act out. Well, guess what? That's telling me, with my average logical thinking, that when they're at home, they get to do what they want to do, so they have no reason to act up. So when they get to school, they're expected to sit still. They're expected to learn. They're expected to be quiet. And that is unconscionable to them. So they don't know how to channel their emotions and anger because they're doing something that they don't want to do. At home, they're able to do what they want. If they're jumping on the couches and flipping and playing video games all day, you just let them be because it's the easier thing to do. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I heard this saying online. You either going to pay on the front end or you're going to pay on the back end. Shout out to Funky Dineva. And what that means is you pay on the front end where it's going to be hard and tasking, but it'll be worth it because it's going to pay off later on. If you don't pay on the front end and put in the work to discipline these kids, later on, you're going to be in therapy. You're going to have them in therapy. You're going to be fighting with them. It's really, really hard to train and mold a child when they're already past a particular developmental stage. That's why it's best to get them while they're young. Anytime I have a dilemma regarding my child, I go to another parent who's experienced similar things. But I don't just go to any parent. I go to parent of children that are successful, that are studious, that are respectful, that are off in college. That's who I go to. I go to those parents and I say, hey, I'm dealing with this. What do you think? And I get sound, solid advice every single time. And I'm so grateful to them. These children need us. It's so easy to detach. And especially if you're a single parent and you're doing it alone and you don't have any help, it is so hard sometimes. You just want to relax and just be and let your child do what it is they want to do so that you can get a break. And I understand that. But it's better to be present. It's better to discipline sooner than later because then you'll be able to trust them to stay home alone while you go and get that hour or two of reprieve. If you don't train them now while they're young, they're going to be even worse when they get older, and you won't be able to trust them to stay home by themselves by the time they're 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You'll be worried because you know you didn't do what you were supposed to do. There was a teacher, first day of school, found drunk. She had 3 times the legal limit of alcohol on the first day of school. That means that woman was dreading going back to teaching this year. But she figured, I know how I'll cope. I'll just drink a little bit and I'll be able to coast through. That's a shame. That's a shame. She may have had an alcohol problem before, granted. But I'm pretty sure that she was dreading going back to teaching them kids so much that she decided, I'll risk my career and my freedom so that I could be able to deal with the stress of teaching these children. We have to do a better job of training our children before we send them out into the real world. We have to do a better job of ensuring that our kids are equipped to deal with other personalities. We have to make sure that our kids know how to advocate for themselves, stand up for themselves, and channel the emotions in a positive way that's going to garner positive results. If not, you're going to have children throwing chairs in the classroom, being disruptive, and making the teachers' jobs that much harder. I understand there are teachers out there that do have biases. I understand that there are teachers out there that are racist. But if you teach your child at home what to look out for and to be communicative and to bring any concerns to you rather than lashing out at school, things will be a lot smoother and you won't have teachers drinking on the job just to be able to cope with your badass kids. Now, I'm not going to say my son is perfect. My son done had his fair share of going to the principal's office now, right? But every year he gets better. Every year he learns how to communicate a little bit better, you know? And that's all we ask for. Kids aren't perfect because we're not perfect parents. But we have to do our job as a parent to make sure that they're showing respect to their teachers and their peers. Period. There's no way around it. So that's all I wanted to say. This backpack, just the smell and the feel, nostalgia brought me back, and I'm just like, whoa, that's some deep shit. Anyways, you guys be blessed.